My name's Dr. John King. I run Give Them a Voice Foundation. At Give Them a Voice Foundation, we do three things. We do advocacy, rehabilitation, and we have the privilege of being involved in the rescue of people who have been sexually abused and human trafficked. When I say rescue, I don't do it myself. I don't have that skill set. What I do have is a relationship with some of America's best Tier 1 operatives who specialize in intelligence gathering and extraction. The testimony I'm about to read you takes place between a Department of Homeland Security agent and one of the victims that were trafficked. I want to read this to you because there seems to be a sense that sex trafficking is not an American issue. I know what that's like. In Australia, we kept at arm's length the whole issue of sexual abuse and human trafficking. It was something that happened in Indonesia. It was something that happened in Thailand. Was it perpetrated by Australian women and men? Yes, it was, but we kept it at arm's length because those governments had to deal with it. We didn't want to assume or accept the fact that it was happening in our own backyard. Folks, I need to tell you, human trafficking, sex trafficking, trafficking for exploitation is happening across America in an unparalleled number, and the victims are mounting day by day by day. This case that I want to read for you is horrible. The details are real. Names have been changed, but none of the other details. DHS agent says to our client, Claire, so I guess we'll just start with how and where you met Bill. Claire, okay, I met Bill late summer, fall 2008. You want all the sexual parts too? Agent, yeah, everything. Okay, so I went there. I was invited by one of his people. To my best recollection, her name was Dee Dee. She contacted me through social media. Agent, how were you contacted through social media? Well, yeah, you see, I posted pictures in bikinis on Instagram and they thought I was attractive and they asked me to come down and do some modeling for them. I asked you to come where? And she was taken from America, outside of America. She invited me to a party telling me that there was free food and free drinks and massage and I'd be able to ride horses and jet ski, and they even had a disco and all that sort of stuff. I went down there for about 2 weeks. I went to the party and she took me, my friend took me. We went to the party together and we arrived a little bit early, around 3. Agent, okay, fine. How old was she, her friend at the time? She was older than me, probably around 18 or 19. Oh, okay. How old were you? I was 16 at the time. 16? Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, no worries, says Claire. So, okay. Dee took me and she took me to Bill as her guest. And that he brought to the party. Bill took me around the property, gave me a quick view, I guess, of his place, and then took me straight upstairs to his room. I only got upstairs to his room and he took out a wad of cash and rested it on like the nightstand or something that was close to the bed. And from there I was under the impression, I'll give you some cab money or something. So we go to the jacuzzi and he pulls down my bikini and he starts to perform oral sex on me. So that probably lasted for a couple of minutes. We go back to his bedroom and that's when he starts to have oral sex again. And then he wanted me to sit on his face. Sitting on his face was like, okay, okay. I think he was probably going to eat me out and me being sitting on his face. But he wanted me to push like I was going to the toilet. Her words are like I was going to shit. I didn't know what to say. And then she gets embarrassed and the agent says, look, trust me, you're not going to offend us. We've heard this before. We've heard this before. So she goes, okay, sorry, okay. So he wanted me to shit or whatever. And I couldn't stimulate the shitting things, so he decided to poke things in my bum, kind of to try and drag it out into his mouth, like just so it would come, and he didn't come. So then he took grapes from the side of the table that were there and started to push them up into my behind, 5 or 6 grapes, and he made me force those out into his mouth. And then afterwards we had sex, we had vaginal sex. And then when I was finished, he gave me money for cab fare and then took me back downstairs for the party. Agent, okay, real quick, how much would a cab have cost you from his house to where you were staying at the time? Oh, at time, probably no more than $15. Okay, so what do you think the money was for? How much did he give you? He gave me $700. Was the money, all that money for cab fare? Oh no, the money was for sex. Okay, because it was right after, like, I didn't even put my clothes on and he gave me the money. So after we got back down to the party, let's say about 3 hours later, my friend Dee that I came with went missing, and he took her upstairs and had sex with her that night as well in the car. In the car on the way home, we compared notes, and she told me that he tried to stick his fingers up her bum and solicit the shitting thing as well. But she didn't do it, so he just ended up eating her out and having sex with her, and we just laughed about it. She got cash as well, but she only got $500. She was a bit upset at that, but she said it was probably because she was older. He invited me to come on a trip with him, I would say in October of that year, and he told me that we would be doing some modelling for clothes or whatever it was with a bunch of other girls on the trip. We went to New Orleans, we went to Los Angeles, and we went to New York. Agent, I'm really sorry, you said a bunch of girls? Like how many? 2 or 3? Oh no, says Claire. What, more? 5, 6? Claire, it was about 10 or 12 girls. Agent, so he had 10 or 12 girls with him at the time, and they went to these cities, and he goes down and lists the cities. Claire, yeah. Were any of them under the age of 18? Claire, I don't know, I couldn't tell. It's hard to tell with the age of girls unless you know them. You know what that's like. They all dress up and look like Instagram, and it was my first trip. So that is one case. This particular perpetrator, we've got records of thousands. Human trafficking is not an Asian thing. It's an American thing. There's literally hundreds of thousands every year that are being trafficked in America, and that number is grossly inaccurate. I would say it's probably hundreds of thousands a month. I know that sounds incredible for people to believe, but it's a reality. We work with a bunch of people all across Texas, and what we're finding is probably 50% of everybody that is brought in by cartels are being sent straight into trafficking. Now, trafficking can both be for labor and for sex. The guys are put into situations where they have to pay back their mules through labor, farm work or yard work or construction work or sex, and the girls are predominantly for sex. Over the next couple of weeks, I will bring you more transcripts and more cases. I don't do this. We have to do something about this. We have to do something about this.